I still remember that night like it was yesterday. My name is Rachel. I'm 33 now, but a few years ago at a family reunion, my whole world cracked in a way I never thought possible. Picture this: my sisters, both glowing very pregnant, standing in my parents' kitchen with smug smiles. Jessica had her hand on her belly like she was carrying royalty, and Emma, the younger one, kept patting her bump as if to remind me of what I didn't have. Rachel, Jessica said with that syrupy voice that always meant trouble, we weren't sure you'd come. You know, reunions are usually for families with kids. The room chuckled. Emma leaned in. Still no baby yet. Such a shame, sis. Your clock must be screaming by now. I laughed weakly, pretending it didn't stab me straight through. But then my dad piped up chuckling. Maybe Rachel just enjoys her sleep too much for kids. My mom shook her head and added, she's always been the delicate one. Probably couldn't handle labor anyway. And the whole room erupted. My parents joined in mocking me. I felt my throat tighten. My husband Daniel reached for my hand under the table, his grip steady, his jaw clenched. But the final blow came when Jessica leaned closer and loud enough for everyone to hear, whispered, "Don't worry, sis. If Daniel gets tired of waiting, I can give him some tips." She winked at Emma and they burst out laughing. That was it. I stood up, chair scraping the floor. I can't do this. Not tonight, not ever again. No one stopped me, not even my parents. I walked out, eyes burning, pride shredded. Outside, the night air was cold, but it couldn't cool the fire in my chest. Daniel wrapped his arms around me, his voice low with anger. You don't deserve this, Rachel. Not from them. Not from anyone. I sobbed into his shirt, feeling smaller than I ever had. That drive home, silent, heavy, was the moment something inside me broke. But funny thing about breaking, sometimes it's how resilience sneaks in. When we got back, Daniel's mom, Carol, was waiting up. She took one look at me, pale and shaking, and she knew. She pulled me into her arms and whispered, "Shame on them. God hasn't forgotten you." She served chicken pot pie and apple cobbler like it was medicine for the soul, and for the first time that night, I felt seen. The next morning over coffee, Carol looked me straight in the eye. You can't keep going back there. It's poison. Daniel crossed his arms, his voice tight. Every time we go, they tear you down. I can't keep watching it. His words stung because they were true. My parents had laughed with my sisters instead of defending me. That wasn't love, that was betrayal. So I made the hardest choice of my life. I cut ties. I ignored the texts that were more bragging about pregnancies than any real apology. At first, guilt ate at me. I was raised to believe family was sacred. But Carol kept reminding me, they abandoned you first. Slowly, guilt gave way to peace. Daniel and I built small joys together, morning walks, late-night movies, laughter that didn't carry knives. Carol became my anchor, telling me stories about pain, refining people like fire. Choose strength, she'd say. For the first time, I breathed without their voices in my head. Sure, grief still hit me when I saw baby photos online, but the constant reminder that I was less than was gone. And one night Daniel whispered, "Rachel, I feel it. Something good is coming." I wanted to believe him. Weeks later, I woke up queasy. I brushed it off as bad food, but the nausea stayed, every smell turning my stomach. Carol worried. Daniel insisted we went to the hospital. Sitting there waiting for the test results, my heart pounded. I'd been here before, always negative, always crushing. But then the doctor came in, eyes kind, voice steady. "Rachel, you're pregnant, 2 months along." I blinked. Daniel let out a laugh, half disbelief, half pure joy. "Did you hear that? You're pregnant?" Tears streamed down my face. After years of emptiness, after being called barren, after every cruel laugh, here it was, a heartbeat of hope inside me. When we told Carol, she wrapped me in her arms, whispering, "Thank you, Lord, for answering." That night, our little home turned into a celebration. Daniel ordered my favorite food. Carol baked a pie. But beneath the joy was a quiet decision we wouldn't tell my family. Not yet. Not after what they did. This miracle was ours to protect. Daniel painted the nursery in soft yellows, humming while he worked. Carol knitted a blanket, every stitch a prayer. At night, Daniel would talk to my belly. "Daddy's here. Mommy's stronger than she knows." The secrecy didn't feel like hiding. It felt like a fortress keeping shadows away from the light. And still late at night, I'd picture the day they'd see me again. The sisters who smirked, the parents who laughed. One day they'd face the woman they mocked, no longer barren, but carrying the very miracle they said would never come. Now, I don't tell you this to brag or to rub it in their faces. I tell it because sometimes the people who should love you most will be the very ones who tear you apart. And sometimes family isn't who shares your blood, but who shows up when you're broken. So I'll leave you with this. Was I wrong to cut ties? Should I ever let them back in? Or does protecting my peace matter more than repairing what's already shattered? Tell me what you think in the comments, because I know I'm not the only one who's had to choose between family and sanity. And if you've ever been mocked for something out of your control, drop your story too. Let's talk about what real love and real family means. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because this story isn't over yet. I still remember that night like it was yesterday. My name is Rachel. I'm 33 now, but a few years ago at a family reunion, my whole world cracked in a way I never thought possible. Picture this: my sisters, both glowing, very pregnant, standing in my parents' kitchen with smug smiles. Jessica had her hand on her belly like she was carrying royalty, and Emma, the younger one, kept patting her bump as if to remind me of what I didn't have. "Rachel," Jessica said with that syrupy voice that always meant trouble, "we weren't sure you'd come. You know, reunions are usually for families with kids." The room chuckled. Emma leaned in. "Still no baby yet." "Such a shame, sis. Your clock must be screaming by now." I laughed weakly, pretending it didn't stab me straight through. But then my dad piped up, chuckling. "Maybe Rachel just enjoys her sleep too much for kids." My mom shook her head and added, "She's always been the delicate one. Probably couldn't handle labor anyway." And the whole